Ninja art nerds. So today we're going to do a walkthrough of making a mini comic, and I'm hoping this will end up being just a double page spread, but it may end up being 4 pages. I actually don't know because I'm walking you guys through every single step of the comic making process, and we're going to figure that out together. So the only thing I know about this mini that we're going to make together is that I want to do a mini about making comics, sort of like Kara's Guide to Making Comics, and I want to do that on video with you guys. So I'm going to take it from this little concept all the way through to the finished comic. And what I really hope to accomplish is in my Making Comics and Zines class, I have a lot of people who have been asking questions about scripting, pacing, and composing their comics. So I'm really hoping that this video can kind of show them one method for doing that. So we're going to start out with brainstorming, and I brainstorm in lots of different ways. Today we're going to put the old pen on the old paper and brainstorm that way. So what do we know? We know we're going to make a comic about making comics. We know it's probably going to star Kara and maybe Naomi. I want to leave it open. I also kind of know what style I want to do this in. I want to do something simple and cute because that's going to give me the best chance of getting this thing done while I have a million other things I have to get done. I know it is probably going to be inked with maybe one spot color. And I really want to focus on the double page spread. And it needs to be done quickly because I don't have a lot of time. And I tend to draw slowly. We're also going to do this mostly traditional. And partially that's because I don't really have good ways to record myself working digitally. Okay, so we're making a comic about making comics. The next step is to decide what steps we want to showcase. So brainstorming, of course, script, layout, thumbnails, scan, send to beta reader, revise. So this is kind of like we're doing a really loose script right now because we're kind of making an outline of the steps we want to cover. Roughs, perspective, and I apologize if I misspell anatomy. This is just brainstorming after all. Just notes so we know what we're doing. And then we're gonna scan, send to beta readers. Pencils. For this one, we're gonna show them inking rather than watercoloring. It'll get a little bit meta. Inking, scan, revise, and then sharing or making minis. Okay, so we have all of our steps here. I'll go through them with you guys because these are going to be the steps we're going to be doing on video anyway, so it'll give you something to look forward to. So the steps we're going to cover in this comic are brainstorming, script, layout, thumbnails, scan, send to beta readers, revise, roughs, perspective and anatomy, scan, send to beta readers and revise, pencils, inking, scan, revise, lettering, sharing or making minis, print, fold, and staple. So how many steps do we have? This will give us an idea of how we want to break it down. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 steps. And if we break this down over 4 pages, we can do 3 steps per page. But then we have, so let's tentatively do that. We have 3 here, brainstorming, script, layout. Then we have 3 here, thumbnails and roughs. Thumbnails, scan, etc., then roughs. And that's going to divorce us. So what I want to do is I want to break these two steps into their own pages. So P1, P2, P3, P4, and then P5. So we ended up with one additional page. Next, I'm just going to kind of loosely do some thumbnails because we know how many pages we're doing. So I don't even know if I want to do a cover. If I did a cover, that would give me 6 pages. And really, when you're planning comics, if you're planning them for distribution, like physical distribution, you want to plan in multiples of 4 because you can get 4 sheets, 4 comic pages on a single sheet of paper if you're printing back and front. So we're at kind of a, that's why I was initially aiming for 4 pages with 3 steps per page, but you have to be open to revising. If you can tell, and the more comics you make, the more you're going to be able to tell this. If you can tell that something's just not going to work for that, if it's going to get too crammed, if you're covering too much, then, you know, feel free to break it up. And even though I'm going to do these pages large, I'm planning for them to be kind of small. So I don't want them to get, like when I print them, I'm planning for them to get small, like at 5.5 by 8.5. So I don't want them to be too dense. So on our first page, and these are just layouts. I'm going to do tight thumbnails the way I normally do tight thumbnails. We're covering brainstorming, script, and layout. And I think maybe just, in fact, I'm doing layouts right now because these are like proto thumbnails. I think we're going to start with maybe 3 panels, or we can also do title, and then 3 panels. So then for page 2 and page 3, they're going to be kind of like a spread. We have 2 panels each. So thumbnails takes up a lot of my time, so I'm going to give that a lot of my space, and then give the revision a small space. And this I can break up even into thirds. So scanning and then sending to beta readers and then revising. And then I want to kind of change up how I do it on page 3. Now it still takes a really long time. In fact, I can usually get 3 thumbnails done a day, and I usually do 1. So maybe I want this to, larger panel. And that way we can really show all the materials that go into it. I'm also already thinking about changing the camera angles. Scan, send to beta readers, and then we'll leave more space for revise. Then we're on to page 4, and I'm pulling it out so I can see it as I go. And page 4 is pencils, inking, scan, and revise. Pencils doesn't take a lot of time. Inking does take a lot of time. And then scan and revise. And then finally, we have lettering and then sharing. So I want the whole bottom half of the page. And I'm going to kind of think about it as its own comic. P5. So we're making minis. So print, fold, staple. Print, fold, staple. And I may even want to revise this one. So it's like print, fold, staple, share. So we've got lettering, print, fold, staple, share. All right, so these are just sort of the basic layouts for this comic that we're going to do. My next stage with this is to just kind of do like proto thumbnails, sort of figure out the art I want to put into these. And then I'm going to print out some thumbnail templates and then revise. Those are going to be my tight final thumbnails. That's what I'm going to scan and then send to other people if I were going to send this part of the project to other people. And I don't normally do it all in ballpoint pen. It's just what I had handy, what was easy to use. All right, so I will see you guys again when we're tightening up our layouts into thumbnails and when we're making our thumbnails. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys again really soon. Bye.